What's up? Just got through doing my videos. Um, did some videos. I talked about Jay Z and MIA, that whole thing. That's crazy with Rock Nation. So that's coming out. I think his surviving Jay Z is gonna be just a matter of time. I really do. They come after him. I dealt with Shaquille O'Neal saying that him and Kobe were the greatest one-two punch. We can talk about that. I talked about how the Kobe statue, which I liked, but I didn't like Vanessa Bryant's vulgarity. I thought uh, she didn't have to say that. Oh, what's up? What's up? Is it still low? Is it still low? Can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. Trying to get closer. Let me know if that's any better. Still low? Is it still low? I'm trying to turn this thing up. I might have to do this thing in stereo. Hold up. This thing be acting funny sometimes. Sometimes it want to act right, sometimes it don't. Let me see if I can get it. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna keep talking. See if we can get it. Trying to get this thing right. Let's see. Check your phone. Check your phone. You'll mute my volume all the way up and low. Let's see. Let me see something. I'm doing it right now. See if I can hang up. Turn these volumes up. Yeah. I can't believe you can't hear me, but I'm gonna see right quick. Can you hear me better now? Let me see something. Now I'm talking to the phone. Can you hear me better? It's got the microwave. It's got the thing up. Okay, good, 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 good. I'm doing this dual thing, so just gonna have to just run it as it is. Oh well. Okay. Anyway, what I said before is that I talked about Jay Z and MIA with that suit. They're coming after him. Cool. Talked about Shaq saying that him and Kobe were the greatest one-two punch. Saw the Kobe statue last night. Talked about how I liked the statue, but I didn't like Vanessa Bryant's vulgarity. I didn't think that she had to use that. You know, if you didn't like the statue, whatever. So, but I don't know. Anyway, um, tapped on those things. I talked about Kyrie Irving blaming Mayor Adams. Talk about why he didn't get to play in New York. I wanted to address that because I wanted to tell you that he blamed Adams because of the mandates, but that's not the reason why Kyrie didn't really perform great in Brooklyn. He really ain't been the same since he left LeBron. And I'm not gonna sit here and ride for LeBron because I have my issues with LeBron, but Kyrie hasn't played better basketball since he was with him. Oh, I know she's still grieving. I just didn't like the way she said if you don't like it and she used the word. I thought that was a bit much. That's all I see it. Because there's a way to be classy about stuff. I know she's still grieving. We all miss the guy in our own way because let's be realistic. He died so young, and it's so unforgiving. You know, it's just that, glad there is a statue of him. Because believe me, there's some people who want to cancel him. So, just saying. Just saying. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. It's just the time and the place that you say certain things, and you know, I thought it was a bit much. Well, no, Gail King was coming at him because that's the whole thing. She was asking about his, the 2003 situation. So she did come for him. And that's why Snoop came after him. And the Oscar community did dislodge him. He did get the Oscar, but they got called out for it. So I mean, let's be realistic. If they, when you black and you mess up or some go down, they come for you, and they would have came for him. You know, I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know where you stay if you heard this, but people where I was saying was calling him the R. Kelly of basketball. They say he was driven like Kel's of artistry, but they also use his personal situation. I'm just saying, I don't make this up. So you take it what you want to take it. Some people were coming for him. So yeah, I mean, it can happen. You think I'm lying? Look at OJ. They don't talk about OJ. When black people get in trouble and they no longer the darlings, they're no longer the critical darlings of their respective fields, people get mighty silent. I watch Club Shay Shay and they talk about R&B. Only Timberland that came out and mentioned R. Kelly and gave him his due. Everybody else get real sheepish and quiet. They get bought and paid. That's why I don't like the plantation. He was, but he was a great player. Two things can be true. He ain't buck dancing now though. If you ever watch his Twitter, his ex, he be talking crazy over there. He don't care now. He got to be an older black dude. He talk a little crazy. He still, but he talk a little bit more crazy. But he was, and I'm not condoning it. All I'm saying was save the same energy when y'all was hyping him up because he was a great player. Let's not kid ourselves. He's one of my five greatest running backs ever. The best player of the '70s. That guy was incredible. League MVP, Heisman Trophy, etc. So come on now. Don't act like y'all don't know him now. That's all I'm saying. I don't like the hypocrisy because if you get in trouble with something, not well, in some parts, in some parts. He came along in a time where he was actually a hood kid. A lot of people don't realize he came from Frisco in the projects, had rickets on his legs. They don't realize he talked trash, ran with gangs. He was a hood brother. Got an interesting story about him, but he got polished up. And once you get up to Holiday, I cleaned him up. But he was a hood cat. But it's funny how that works. I like that one, a reform, but you a mess, Ted. That's hilarious. I gotta remember that line. That was hilarious. Reform, but I have never heard that before. I wish there were more. I really do. I can't say prison changed him as much. I will. I'm gonna write that down. Hold up. Let me use that. Reform buck dancer because I'm gonna use OJ as the basis for that. That's a drum line. If we had a live show, I knock the audience dead with that one. Reform. Oh, I wish there was a lot of people like that. Dang, that's hilarious. After prison, maybe you can say that about Suge Knight. Yeah, I see it because he does. He you know, yeah, I see it. Mariah, hmm, she just strikes me as one of those kind of people that she played that role. I mean, she definitely tried to pass back in the '90s, and then you know she still got that New York in her though. She be acting though, you know. So that's a funny one, but the OJ one still's gonna win. I don't know if she's reformed. I don't know how much she's changed. I know one thing. This ain't the '90s. I know one thing. She ain't playing that Tiger Woods Kumbalate or pulling that Coco Banner that you have black and tropical and they did because when Matola pulled the songs and gave it to Jennifer Lopez, that was hilarious. And I got a funny story because I watched this cat named Storm Monroe. He does black pop gossip stuff. He does some stuff because I keep an eye on some things he be cracking me up because he had a funny video about Tristan Thompson. They'll crack up about that. But he had a segment where he talked about Jennifer Lopez trying to cover Barbara Streisand. And God, if you ever hear that vocal performance, oh, your ears gonna fall off because she was trying to hit this note. Oh God, and she sucked. But we always said Jennifer Lopez's, best talents was behind her. We meant that. And she was trying to hit this note. Oh God. And I can't stand that woman now because I'm gonna tell you a story. So I watched the cat show. I was just kind of watching because he's talking about Jay Z and MIA. Anyway, there was the he did a live stream. He was at about the hour mark or something. Anyway, but look up the Jennifer Lopez unedited vocals, Streisand. So he did the part, and then he came to that part, and I'm listening, but I was kind of like nodding off to sleep. You be listening to something, you kind of like, and then I heard this. I woke up like an alien was standing on top of my roof. I was like, oh my god, and I always knew she sucked as a singer. And then he had me rolling because he said, go get Ashanti, because Ashanti did ghost work for her. Yeah. But anyway, I was like, oh my God, that voice. Because this was about 1:30 in the morning. And I just thought I was going to listen to the talk about Jay-Z and MIA. And I said, okay, so that came on with the vocal part because he was talking about Rihanna, because Rihanna did do Hero when she was 15, 16. And, Rihanna trying to sound like Mariah Carey. That ain't going to end too well. That ain't going to end too well. But it was kind of okay. But that Jennifer Lopez trying to do Streisand, I was like, oh God, what happened? And then she had the nerve to tell the keyboard player, she says, find me the note. And dude was like, he can't find you the key. I was dying in here. I was so toe up, so toe up. So if I say anything wrong about Jennifer Lopez, I hope y'all forgive me. Oh yeah, well you see, that was used to get her on. That's all that was. That was all that was. You know, passed around booty. I'd always tell you, cheeks for checks, booty for the looty. I mean, yeah, because Keenan hit that, got through that. She used all the brothers when she was coming up, but when she got in the biz, she had no more use for the Negroes. Puffy was the best thing that happened to her from a stylistic perspective, and she worked with Herb Gotti and Joe Rue and all that. But you know, that's how it went. That's how it went. They sure did. But that's pretty common in industry. I mean, it happens a lot. Christina Aguilera, they always want to kind of have a little swag, swang about them, but then when they get, because she never would have been half of what she was if it wasn't for black folk. That was her main. That's the J Lo. That's the thing that made her. What about her? Besides messing with Lenny Kravitz and Q-Tip and being a kind of dim lit actress, because I just can't quite feel her. She she's passable as an actress. Oh yeah, yeah. And Lenny Kravitz too. Lenny was on it, but passable actress. They didn't put no soul in it though. There's no soul glow. Too stiff. You know. But I do like um, um, Keith Urban's a decent cat as a musician. He good. Not big on him, but he good. He's like a long lost Bon Jovi from Australia. But he cool. He can play a bit, but I don't be feeling, I mean, I'm not gonna really. But yeah, that's the trip out thing about her. Brothers had access. You wouldn't think it though. You wouldn't think it. But I remember that though. I remember. Yeah. But the funny thing about it, oh yeah, and so y'all gonna see my video coming out. I laughed about it because I said Bill Poland eat your heart out, Lamar and all that. But Dak Prescott came in second place. did I did did my Stevie Wonder glasses work against me? I mean, was he? I mean, you gotta let me know. Am I hallucinating? Second, McCaffrey, uh, Tyreek Hill, Tua. How does Dak get second place? Did I miss something? Yeah, I'm like, but Dak got second place though. Did he? What? I want to know what earth was he in second place? My second place would have been McCaffrey, Tyreek Hill, Tua, then Dak. I get my Stevie Wonder glasses checked because I didn't quite get that one. I mean, Jerry Jones played that off with that star. Yeah, he is. I hate to say it, he is because he he is. When he feel like it, he can be great, and then he has those horrible games, and then he waits till like late third quarter or 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter and start empty calorie and start throwing for 500 yards, and then he had five interceptions, and he comes with four touchdowns. I say, oh gosh darn, I was so close. And then he wonders why. Look, he gave you the same old reaction. I mean, I'm so tired of him. He's really pathetic. Does the same thing. Those two or three bad picks, stinks it up. It's hilarious because he's got this dim lit like, well, yeah, but I did throw for 380 with the last 3 minutes. We were down 40 points. I did get it down to 20. That and we lost. Oh gosh, I was so close. He cracks me up with that mess. He does that all the time. All the time. But how he get second place? Let's talk about that. Did I miss something? How he get second? Because I got McCaffrey, Tyreek, Tua. I ain't got him in no second. As far as NFC quarterbacks, was he better than Purdy? Was he better than Jared Goff? Okay, you got me. Okay, 12-4. But Jared Goff was right there. They stole that game from Detroit too. Maybe that's why they gave it to him. Maybe. But Jared Goff played as well. Purdy, but McCaffrey should have been second place. I mean, come on now. Dak didn't beat no legit teams hardly. They'll just keep it 100. I must have missed something. I don't know. I can't see him as a second place behind Lamar. I just can't. I'm sorry. You can you can tell me all you want. I just don't see it. I know they want him to be high though, because he plays for the Cowboys. I understand. I just don't get it. I don't get it. So yeah, he did. Dak pads his stats. Daxy pads. That's what you're gonna start calling them. Daxy pads. Daxy pads. Pads. His that name might catch on. Feel free to use it. Daxy pads. Cause he be padding all the time. He do pad a lot. This turkey be having some bum games, stinking it up, and I don't tell you he'll find a way to get 350 yards when you look at the end of the game when he stunk it up bad. Daxy pads. He's one of the kings of stat padding, and he don't utilize that team the right way. Yeah, he do. Yeah, he do. Cause he'd be like, oh, should have, oh. And I'm like, Turkey, you threw two bad interceptions. You fumbled the ball. Sometimes you be having Easter eggs by halftime, and your team barely had one touchdown. And then you get them last 5 minutes when the teams bring their fourth tier, third, fourth guys in, and then all of a sudden, then you start to find the end zone and move the ball. After you didn't stunk it up for 3 quarters, he cracked me up with that mess. He be cracking me up. Dacky Pass. He do. That's what we're gonna call him, cause that's what he is. He gets on my nerve with that mess. He be always making that face. I'm trying real hard. Like, you sure? You must have owed somebody some money. I don't know. But I can't figure out how he was in second place. See, I'm a sports nerd, and I take these things seriously because I do look at who finishes in the rankings. and I'm gonna have a bee in my bonnet about that one. How he get in second place? I want to know. I mean, I gotta give. Look, I give McCaffrey his due. He should have been in second. And if we gotta have a quarterback in second, I probably put Tua in second this year. Tyreek Hill, something, but not no dacky pad, not no dacky pads. Come on now, that is that's that's a bought and paid. But Jerry Jones spike somebody's punch or something. I know Skip Bayless was trying to say Richard Sherman didn't give the vote to Lamar, but this is crazy. It's crazy. That was hilarious. But yeah, that's my rant for the moment. I had to go off on that because I can't understand how he got that. He must have missed something. Jackie Page. We have fun on here. Well, cowboy love is real. This cowboy love is real. You can call him any name you want, cause you saw up close and personal. Did he look like an MVP? Did he look like a runner-up MVP against Green Bay? Did he? Did I? What? I need some Stevie Wonder. I gotta take my Stevie Wonder glasses off. I mean, Jordan Love looked like you think Dak would look. I must have been seeing things. That's because Philadelphia did the boom, and that's because of those sorry Geno Salami. That turkey messed up running that division. They was 10-1, and then they choked the last 5 or 6 weeks and stunk it up, and they quit on him. And then we don't even talk about them last two teams. He sure did, cause the tight end was looking like he was Kelsey and Kittles by himself. I was like, only the cameraman caught y'all third string tight end all wide open waving. Yeah, Jordan Love was throwing off his back foot. I thought Jordan Love was auditioning to be James Brown in a movie. Musgrove had no business. He looking like Brent Musburger. He's Musgrave was like digging him out by himself waving. I'm like, are you kidding me? And Jordan Love wasn't like Mahomes. He threw back foot picks, throwing all smooth. I'm like, he could have put a 50 burger on them turkeys. Remember, we did that thing about the tiers in that division. Because remember, it was Dak and Jalen. And then once you get down to Daniel Jones and Sam Howell and the other busters, oh God, oh Lord, we don't even talk about the Giants and Washington quarterbacks. It's really well, yeah, because he's with Dallas. There's politics involved. It's politics, politics. So I don't care about no ownership. If you ain't making legit people, I am not trying to see it. I can't stand it. You see a young black head coach in Houston doing what he did with CJ Stroud, and you mean to tell me you can't find a young brother to get the gig if you don't want to give the enemy the gig? Who are you kidding? I'm glad for Antonio Pierce because he's a young coach, relative, but Raheem Moore's recycled. Got no problem with brothers getting no gig, but these white boys will come along and get those jobs and snap them up with nothing because Florida didn't have no prior experience. So I don't be buying that crap. They selective with who they want to be, of course. It's good old boy. Mm. But yeah, I still can't get over him being in second place. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to, you know. Oh yeah, you got that right. You got that right. You ain't gonna that now that would really be a different day in the NFL. Cause it ain't happened. It ain't happened. They give a black head coach a great quarterback, which they hardly do before they put him with a black quarterback. You got that right. That's a reality. That is a reality. I hope one day it'll happen. But I know they're gonna make sure that don't happen. Because brothers who get head coaching jobs in the NFL never get usually the tight gigs. There's a reason. I ain't lying. You can coach the Raiders. You can coach, and that's about as close to a great team. You know, yep. But they have it picked out where it's not because let's be realistic. If we're gonna romanticize a black quarterback and a black head coach, let's be make it romantic. Romantic would be Frisco. Romantic would be Kansas City. Romantic would be Dallas. Okay, it ain't romantic with the Raiders. It ain't romantic with Pittsburgh. It's certain teams that flow. See, this marketing. It's all politics, and I can't stand it. But yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. They won't put them in a situation. But they got 15 white coaches. And when they do give brothers the gigs, it's usually in bad situations. Usually, you're in a can't win situation. You know, telling me Eric Bieniemy couldn't be coaching Justin Herbert. All due respect to Harbaugh. Glad for me because I'm a Michigan fan, but let's be realistic. Why can't Bieniemy go to the Chargers? That'd be the greatest revenge. That would be must see TV. You know how they are. I know how they are. I know how they are. They would rather be hating. So, yeah, yeah. But I said be enemy because be enemy against Mahomes would be intriguing. That would be worth seeing. Leftwich would do good. Leftwich could have probably helped Russell Wilson in Denver. Okay. Leftwich could probably help. I gotta think. There's some places he could go. He could definitely help in Tennessee. Ryan Tannehill. Matter of fact, I think Leftwich right now could still play over Ryan Tannehill, but that's just me saying that. But but you get the gist one going. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That would be intriguing if Andy Reid sets him up, brings him back. There you go. There you go, Malcolm. There you go. That could be real compelling. And Mahomes stays healthy, focused, and motivated, which we can't really count know about the health, but if he stay focused and motivated, which we see, we talking about 5, 6, 7 more years. Yeah, that would. But I would love it because we haven't had that dynamic duo like that. But that's in across all major sports. We haven't had a black dominant manager or black dominant players to win like that. Just the same. It doesn't happen in the NBA. Yet they talk about how progressive they are. They not. Major League Baseball, they not. And we know hockey's too white, and I don't really talk about hockey on here. There's a reason why I don't. Just saying. So, but yeah, the major sports, you see what's up. You see how white it is, how whitewashed it is. Yeah, after what, 60, 80 years, there ain't but a handful of cats that ever won multiple rings as a manager. Because it's tough in baseball to dominate. But that's just how janky they are. You know. So I'm a big fan of that brother too. So I don't know about quite like that because Tory did have his gig with Atlanta. He was good. I can't say that. I'll give him his due. He belonged with him. I can't say quite as good, you know, because Tory connected. And, you know, let's be real. Winning rings in Toronto, winning rings in New York. They winning rings, but they're not held the same. So it's a little bit different. But I do like him though. But Tory had showed me something in Atlanta too, so that's the reason. There's some managers I hold in high regard. Like underrated. Cito's one of them. I think Washington, who managed Texas, was underrated. Um, hmm, Isaac Yin to an extent. Isaac was a mess, but I think he kind of doesn't get his full due. Um, Even though Bochy's won all them rings around Washington, I don't think that he gets quite his full due. Bochy a bad boy. He a bad boy. I think you can win in baseball and still be kind of under, especially in the modern. I really do believe that. Of course, you can win and be average, like Joe Girardi, who was average to me as a manager. You saw what happened in Philly. Just saying. Um, because I hate to say it, but it's kind of like what Bill Parcells says: "You are your record." So there's there's managers that win that don't get the same shine as others. Most managers will never get the love that Tony La Russo gets. Um, Lou gets love. He got love. Lou got love. Lou got love. You know, he got love because he won in Cincinnati, and he did great in Seattle. They just underachieved, but he got love though. Baseball's a different animal though. You just gotta win one. No, he's not underrated. He falls in that Don Nelson. He falls in that Marty Schottenheimer. He falls in that boat of guys that his mouth gets him because he's just so demanding, and he always ends up deferring, and other people come along and get his ring. That's his problem. He shoots his own self in the foot because he gets everything right. He gets nine part of it right, but then the 10th part he finds a way to mess it up. He's a 9 out of 10er. If he won half them rings with the Yankees and that ring with Arizona and did something with the Mets, he'd be where Bochy is, but he ain't. So he brought that on himself. That's what I had a discussion about Buck. So there's always managers like that in other sports. They just don't finish. That's the only reason why Doc Rivers overrated ML Hall of Famers. Oh God, that's a lot of them. I mean, you could make the case. I mean, aside from his 56 game hitting streak, Joe DiMaggio, you can make the case he's one of them. Yogi Berra. I'm a Yankee fan, but um, to me, I know this ain't a popular thing to say. Nolan Ryan, because I know he had all them no hitters and one hitters, and struck out a lot of people. But Harold Baines, pretty much a lot of the people that just came along, Morris. Yeah, a lot of these cats. If they ain't, you got to ask yourself, were you really as good as Barry Bonds? Were you good as Clemens? I mean, really? Come on now. There's some people that no, no. I thought he was a power pitcher, but he wasn't the best right-hander I ever saw. Roger Clemens eclipsed him, and I thought he gave up a lot of home runs. He won a lot. He lost a lot. I mean, Nolan Ryan's record didn't really blow me like that. I mean, I could make a case that you could make a case for Phil Negro, Gaylord Perry. I was never the biggest Ryan fan. I thought I respected his arm strength, but really, he did great in Houston. He had some years, but he wasn't like that dominant dude. I mean, when he was 14-3 with the Astros in '81, and Fernando Mania came along, Valenzuela had more juice than him. Just saying. And I don't think he was better than J.R. Richards. I lived in Houston back then. J.R. Richards was the link between Bob Gibson and Dwight Gooden. And he had that blood cloud. And I think Bill Verdon and Rednecks took him out. That's just my personal opinion. But I'm entitled to saying it. Because if you've seen James Rodney Richards, and when he was smoking on that mound, and they brought Nolan Ryan, just saying, I'm just saying, yeah. So had he been healthy, he stayed healthy. They kind of had that Ferguson Jenkins thing. And don't get me started how they tried to wipe Funny Time Fergie Jenkins about the drugs and stuff, and they tried to prolong him getting the Hall of Fame. They got some funny, janky rules about stuff. But J.R. Richards was a bad boy. I remember that All Star game. He had Reggie and all of them. That's back when All Star game mattered too. When National League, American League went against each other, it really meant something. Not that clown fair it's been the last plus many years. But yeah, so that's my take on that. Because JR actually had control of his stuff. Ryan just threw a lot of he threw a lot of heat, but cats got on him though. See, my favorite pitcher when Ryan was big, I was always pulling for Steve Carlton. That was my dude. I never was that big on Ryan. I don't know if it's because the redneck. I remember his book too. He took a cheap shot at Magic Johnson, which Magic said, "Why he talking about me?" But anyway, I just didn't think he was that end all be all pitcher. And then Clemens comes along, power pitcher, influenced by him, but to me surpassed him. Now you tell me, did Roger surpass Nolan Ryan? Because to me he left him in the dust. Yep, Hershey's oh Wiley Cleaver looking like your nerdy math teacher, the seventh, eighth grade. But that dude could pitch. That dude was a bad dude. Had that old school name too, Oral. But he had the truth. He was the truth. Mm-hmm. It wasn't no undercover. He was a good old boy. Wasn't no undercover about him. Mm-mm. I smelled him by a country mile. So I didn't really. Let's just say I didn't have to have to ask is he or was he. His stench let me know what he was. So usually I'm accurate on them things too. Mm-hmm. Especially when I'm watching sports and especially baseball. Usually. Mm-hmm. So I know he loved plucking Robin Ventura in the head when he punched him, and I'm sure he said some not so nice things too. Yeah, good old boy. He was strong. Pitched a long time, but most of them are. Most of them, but it don't really matter because they don't. They're not gonna yank him. Brent Musburger used to talk trash all the time. Now I'm looking at Brent Musburger like he Eminem's uncle and stuff with the Raiders. Cracks me up. Call him Uncle Shady. Most of them are though, because yeah, there was a photo, there was a shot of him. He had the dark lokes on. He was all decked out with the Raider clothes and white. I'm like, who you is? Like Eminem's uncle coming to the coming to the charcoal cookout. I was cracking up. Yeah, I remember he was with Bill Russell a long time ago, and he talked about how great Larry Bird was, and Russell was like, "Well, man, I was pretty great myself." I'm like, "See this stuff," but a lot of them be like that though, because again, they're privileged seats to see black athletes out there in the field and running, and white a sea of white faces. That's what they think, because there ain't no ownership, and many black head coaches or general managers, contrary to what they tell you. All you ever get is, well, you do have 80, 90% playing. I'm like, what's that got to do with running? Who's calling the shots? They get silent on I say that. Real silent. So, But anyway, that's my thoughts on that, though. Most of them are, though. They can't help it. Well, Joe Morgan was too black too, because Joe Morgan talked about his episode in the airports, but Joe Morgan made it through. Barnes is more controversial because he didn't really interview with him. But Joe Morgan was a brother too, so Barnes could tell you pitches and strikes and locations. Yeah, he could. He could. He should have had that job. He's one of the most intelligent players I've ever seen. He really fundamentally knows the game. It's not just some, he really knows. But they don't want to touch him now. So it's their loss. It's actually our loss because they had him and they justify having him there. He sure was, because I remember there was some segment and he literally was telling the catcher why the pitch was 2 feet off, and he was talking about a changeup. I was just listening to him. I was like, he knew the speed, he knew the tempo. I was like, this guy. I made a video and I said he might be the greatest athlete ever in team sports or something. It's not popular to say that, but you can say all these stereo, all the juices you want. This guy was still, he was just amazing. You can't make your mind work like that. He just knew stuff. Speaking of Buck Showalter, they had the bases loaded late game. He walked him as opposed to pitched him. That's how intimidating he was. Ain't been no one else like him. Bonds is like Wilt Chamberlain and whoever else you want to call dominant. Just rolling the one. Yep. I remember that stuff because I used to watch Bonds at bats. I treated Barry Bonds at bats like I did Tiger Woods on Sundays. There's a handful of people that I will sit there and watch what they do when they get ready to make that move. He was one of them. He was must see TV. Huge Bonds fan. When I say the greatest baseball player ever, he might stretch across other field sports too. I mean, I don't know if I've seen another athlete as dominant as him. Yeah, they great, but he left them in the dust. Except Clemens is the best right hand pitcher. Because Clemens came back. Griffey Jr. was a more pure guy, but he just okay. I'm gonna say it before you ask. He had some bummy qualities about just not really, because he had a natural instinct. It just didn't finish. McGuire was a brute of a hitter, a brute, like a Harmon Killer Brew updated. Smashed the ball, strong. Even when he was a kid with Oakland, always built to be dynamic. Sosa was a bum in the outfield, but an incredible stick. Quick jump on the ball, quick energy. He was like a rabbit, bounced. They were fun to watch, all of them. They all were. Clemens, the guy from Boston, became a different guy in Toronto, became a different guy in New York, became a different guy in Houston. Just incredible pitcher. So, I love all them cats. All of them. But Bonds was the one out of them I had to watch, no matter what. So, but I had a lot of players I like watching them. Mm-hmm. A lot of them. So that guy had incredible force and could use all the fields. You're not used to a big boy being like a Rye Carew slasher type. He was amazing, amazing. But he wasn't that memorable with the Angels, though. Just gotta keep it 100. He did all his damage with St. Louis. With the Angels, he was good. He was good. With the Cardinals, he was a made man. There's a big difference. Big difference. Big difference. So he was barely good with the Angels. But with the Cardinals, he was a made man. He's a woulda, coulda, shoulda, and then it didn't turn out right. And yeah, he did some stupid stuff. I mean, Should have been. Should have been. Should have, would have, could have. But it be like that sometimes. That's what old boy for the Padres better hope that he don't turn like Josh Hamilton, because they got him from the steroids. And I like the way he played. You know what I'm talking about. But they gave him a big suspension last year, and he was on his way, looking good for the Padres. Him and Masada were looking good. Then he got hit with that big old suspension. Yeah, Todd. I liked Todd. His daddy was a freak. He hit him in that game, hit all them home runs in that inning. But Tejada Jr. looked like he was the next dude on the come up, like he was going to be the A Rod of his. Well, he still might, but yeah, I gotta be careful because it might still go that way, but for the wrong can play. But they underachieve too. They got too much talents to be just so scrubby. I ain't feeling them, so I ain't feeling them. I'm not feeling them. Well, okay, if he loves it, I just hope he comes through big. They need him to come up big. You gotta, they gotta come through. Because there's no expectations for him. It's tough being a Yankees fan knowing that if you finish in third place, you happy because you just don't have no expectations. Because Aaron Judge ain't that dude. They don't have anybody in there that can kick the team in the behind and get it going. They're on the downside. They've been on the low for a long time. I want to be pleasantly surprised and shocked, but I don't know. So did you see Steph Curry last night? Hit all them threes. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Because Baltimore, Toronto, they're gonna be tough, in Tampa too. It's the days of Coke, running that division is gone. Even though we got some pit bulls on the offense, you gotta bring it. You're gonna have to win about 97 to 103 games. So, Mr. Boom, stop with the happy 90 streak. Yeah, I just want to give shout out. Steph Curry was balling last night. That was scary. I know. I saw that mess. I was like, oh, here he go. Here he go. I agree with Shaq about him. I'm gonna hate to when he retires. That dude is so much fun to watch and just so poetic. He really, because he has gotten better. That's the scary part. And range is just as deadly as it was a decade ago. He may even be better. I mean, he's scary, but he ain't got nothing to work with. Kaminga's coming on a little bit. We're gonna see what Steve Kerr can do. Second half of the season. We'll see what he can do. Streets is watching. Yeah, when he's shooting like that. But I'm gonna tell you like this though. As great as he played right, and he played great. If Clay did that, they gonna spank that butt by 25. That's the difference. Steph goes off, they gonna win the game. Clay goes off like that, they spanking that butt by 25. That's the difference. But yeah, when Steph's like that, I mean, he just. Then we saw Denver and the Lakers, and Jokic hit that three. I was like, oh wow, that three was sick. LeBron up there padding. I like the Kobe style, like I said about that, but it's ironic. Jokic scored 24 and they beat him by 8. Do you think there's any symbolism there? Yeah, it was because dude put his hand up. I seen AD do it and Jarvis, and he just can't stop him. I mean, he just has an incredible ability. I call him Aquaman. That butterball can't be breaking you off. That dude is a scary dude. He's scary. And it's like low key too. I mean, they 20 games over 500. Not a lot of fanfare, of course. Jamal Murray, and I won't do video about. I mean, that's a bad dude. They got to give him an honorary. Yeah, because quiet as is kept. If they win another ring with the Jokic and Murray balling, you got to kind of think, are they the updated Shaq and Kobe? Not as great as, but you got to kind of. I mean, Murray is a freak. He just can shoot. See, he does what I wish Donovan Mitchell. You always asking about Donovan Mitchell's guy. Jamal Murray is that 25, 30 points, rebounds, assists, sets the floor up, and unassuming. Be busting your behind too. They got no answer for that guy on the perimeter. So look, Dame didn't do it 10 years ago. He sure as heck ain't gonna do it now. But you're right. And the thing about Jamal, he could go 40 points. Dame ain't got that in him now. Dame's a one-trick pony. Dame's about the stat padding and messing with his wrist. Dame gonna be flicking his wrist like he little Richard or something, or Richard Simmons or something. Talking about the Dame time. Come on, man. It is easy to score. You see there every night. Shoot, that ain't no lie. He ain't telling no lie. Shoot. You got some busters out here throwing up points like it ain't nothing. And we know they busters too. Shoot. Because Luca is a putt putt moving Morby Derby dude who never be in shape hardly, and he's throwing up 35, 40 like it ain't nothing. Imagine if he played with Pat Riley in Miami and he got cut in shape. He was if he was like cut in shape, they are. They are. And I know people gonna say, well, Joel Embiid got hurt. That ain't gonna do with it. They don't utilize Maxey the right way. Tobias Harris doesn't step up enough. The bench is suspect. And they don't have enough to beat Boston. Just don't trust them. So that's why Miami always got a chance. These guys get took. These guys get took. Loaded with what though? Loaded with what? You really believe Tibbs got what it takes to win it though? Really? Loaded with what? I want to know because I'm not being funny. I'm just trying to say what are they loaded with? They got a good squad, but you know, do I think they can be a title team? Randall got bummy tendencies. I like OG. He got hurt though. You do know that, right? OG hurt. Like Brunson. Gotta see what they do with their bench. But you know Randall could be. He got bummy tendencies. You do know that, right? He got bum tendencies. Still think they need. They're missing one part. Can't put my finger on it. He didn't fit. Where he get traded to? I forgot. He didn't fit though. He didn't fit. He too slow for what they do. They're not a half court physical team, no way. So where they trade him to? He don't really. He don't fit. I agree with you. Oh, that's Saudi Arabia. That means he messed up. That's what that means. No, they traded him to the bushes. That was on purpose. He must have ticked off Jason Kidd or Summer Luca. Rubbed Kyrie won him the wrong way. They send your butt there because yeah, they send him to Saudi Arabia. If he gets cut and gets picked up by a legit team, if I'm Milwaukee, I try to make that move. Yeah, that's what happened. Cause the problem with Williams, right? Big old boy bruiser, can shoot a little bit, play some defense, but you gotta have a certain type. No, no, Milwaukee more than the Heat. Miami don't have a problem with toughness on the glass. They got offensive issues. That's what their issues are. He need to go somewhere like Milwaukee. He'd be good for Milwaukee. He'd be good for Philly. He could definitely help out the Pacers. They soft and lightning cakes. Them teams before I'd say Miami. In the West, he'd be a good fit with the Timberwolves. But I know he wouldn't work with Kid though, because he just too, you know, I could see why. Sometimes I don't even have to even, you know. But yeah, him getting traded to Hornets was definitely maybe it's questionable. They got dogs in there, maybe. But I'd say Milwaukee off the bat and Philly off the bat and Minnesota for sure because they cupcake central. Clippers got toughness though, so that's just my take. But I know why they got traded to Hornets. That's a slap. Nah, I don't believe that. Now with Ant Edwards, yes, but Gobert and Cat, I don't know about that. I mean, I don't know. It would be nice actually because then it wouldn't look like the league is so fixed. But no one trusts Minnesota. I like Ant though. Ant's a bad boy, and Cat can have his moments, but you just don't go back and do something stupid. But yeah, when you get traded to the Hornets, that's definitely the kiss of death. That means that they done with you. Mm-hmm. They done with you. Yeah, I can't even get over that though. Well, they don't have no choice. It's some kind of physical play. They don't have no choice. But you know, they'll play him, but I don't know what that's gonna mean though. I don't know what that's gonna mean. They just a mess right now. They 10 games over 500, but they just seem like they off though. They went to overtime. Uh, got a chance to be. Got a chance to be. Got a chance to be. Shouldn't be, because the league ain't that good to be the worst. I mean, you just not trying right now. I've not seen basketball as such a great eclipse that a team should be that horrible. I'm just keeping it 100. Standards are not the same right now. I don't see any team that I'm sitting there going, oh my God. I mean, I can see Denver winning, yes, but am I seeing a team that I'm sitting there going, oh, they just, no, there's no reason for the Pistons to be that bad, not in this era. There were eras of basketball where I would have said, yeah, and your butt will be in Dubois, but they shouldn't be that bad. They should have at least 5 or 6 more wins. Even the Spurs got 5 or 6 more wins, and they stink. That's the worst Popovich coaching I've ever seen. He's got nothing but fresh kids, but it's just horrible with the Pistons. I mean, it's horrible. But even they don't play hard. He's thinking he can hang on till Wamba gets a little seasoning on him, but I think you're right. I'm like, you know, it ain't gonna end well. By the time Wimber get Victor gets going, that's about the year what 3, 4, 5. And you need some point guard, you need some better shooting, you need some defenders. Bench need to get better. They suck. And I watched them play. I mean, they play a little bit hard, but that's not Pop's team. That's not the Spurs I remember. That's some imposters wearing them jerseys. They don't have a Kawhi. They don't have another piece. That's why the Spurs fans are still mad about Kawhi. Well, y'all made a choice. Pop was never the same without Kawhi. Let a ring go out the door. Just saying. Just saying. I think Wimby's got a chance to be a really good player. But oh yeah. Oh yeah. Who's the coach? I mean, I tell you all the time how I feel about Udoka. That's all I ever say. It might sound like a James Brown record about Udoka. If I like you a lot, I'll sound like a James Brown record. If I like you and I respect you. And I do. I think a lot of Udoka. Because I don't think the Celtics are going to be a threat without him. I know they got game 7 against Miami last year, but Udoka just connected the stars. That's all. He got Dylan Brooks looking legit. So that alone should be coach of the year. And you can coach. Okay? Because Dylan Brooks could be, with the right coach, he could help out quite a few teams. Yep. Yep. They sloppy. Mm-hmm. And see, they set up for a game against Atlanta where Trey Young could get hot and Murray could get hot, and that could get their butt in trouble. See, you're right. Yeah, Orlando are good. Hmm. That's a good call about their defense. Real good call. Because they are missing that thing. They missing that thing. They want to get Pozingas for inside. I understand that, but they missing that thing, and they got rid of Robert Williams. I think he gonna get waived by Portland. So him and Grant will be available, but they got to fit in the right situation. But they can't come back to Boston. So there was a day and a time both those cats would have been swinging a tire like ML Carr and would have been sitting on the Celtic bench for years, but they don't score no points. So they're expendable. But yeah, the Magic are good. But yeah, I said that about Udoka. Mm-hmm. Because Kobe, you can debate who was better of the two, but Kobe, you felt the respect. He wanted your blood. That's the difference. Kobe, I mean, LeBron wants to pal around with you and sippy sippy and all that. Kobe had aura about him. There was a magnetism there, and that's the thing. Plus, LeBron's not in this city. This ain't Cleveland. He ain't LA. I would too, because he's stuck with a bunch of jive turkeys on his team. I mean, including AD. They soft in the head, soft in the cakes, a lot of acting, not consistent. Don't play no defense. Weren't for the refs in a couple of them games, their butts would be under 500 right now. Because that game against Toronto, that game against Golden State, that Phoenix game, that's 3 games right there. Refs don't have a hand in it. Your butt's under 500. They still barely a 500 team. They one game over 500. Of course, he want to trade everyone because it's not going the way it's supposed to. Him and AD are playing certain level, but they can't play no defense, and they can win games and they can lose games. They just a 500 team. I don't blame him. But he has to be accountable, but I don't blame him. Two things can be true. I don't blame him, but he has to be accountable. But he didn't lost his magic touch because they want AD. They don't want. They know they want Austin Reeves, but I don't know what kind of coach he really is because he doesn't have any say on that team. So I can't really say because the truth is AD has to be the best player on the floor. And with LeBron dictating stuff, I can't really say. I think their rotations are suspect, but I do think they play better without both of them. But I can't really say what coach he is until LeBron's gone, and then AD has to put up a shut up. And I got a feeling AD will probably try to get him up out of there. I don't know. I don't trust AD, so I can't say. It's a question mark. He's got an incomplete right now. But they did get to the Western Conference Finals last year, so he's not a bum. But he's solid. Yeah, because Braun is pushing 40 next year, and the salary cap, and there's nothing they can really get. Not the kind of. I do think they're probably going after Zach LaVine. They wanted somebody with some speed on the stuff. They don't have Donovan Mitchell trade assets. They're not getting rid of that white boy, and they're not going to get rid of AD. And the days of the Rudy Gobert one-sided flip trade or getting somebody asinine is not going to happen. So they have to sit and take this one. They're an average team. That's true. Yeah, you laughing, but that's the kind of cat that they would what they would go after for AD, teaming up with the athletic cat. They have no athleticism. Vanderbilt and them guys are, Reeves. They're kind of like stagnant guys. Corny as Zach Levine is, with AD and him running, Levine would give them some spark with the speed and movement. They don't have that. They're not a knockdown 3-point shooting team. They're not a very athletic team. They got an old man running their, you know, point, and AD shoots inside out, but they're not a deep team. So where's their athleticism coming from? There's no easy buckets. Reeves got to play out his mind. D'Lo got to play out his mind. They're not an easy cast. That's why Ham's got his work cut out with that crew. That's why they record is what they record is, and why they can play against. You know, no, I don't want him back. He really wouldn't fit at this stage. I know he can score points and all that, but I don't think if he don't get to the finals, and they got to the finals with Jimmy Butler and Bam, so get to the finals and do what? No, I seen he left. I told a buddy of mine. He asked me. He was a Laker fan. I said, nope, I'm good. I don't want it back. Too much diva. Too much unnecessary crap. And he's 10 years later, and he's not the same player. No, you ask really why? Because he's not the same player. Oh, you think because he throwing up 25 points and 6 and 7, all that? That no, they're empty calorie stat. He's stat padding. His teams aren't that good. Did I miss something? He ain't really done nothing in LA post bubble. Well, I mean, if that Walmart wall banner is what you get excited about, okay. But I mean, he really ain't adding nothing. He can't play no defense. Streaky with the three ball and do what with him? All he would do would be a sideshow at this stage. He's not winning a championship for Miami. I told you, if we were to get anybody, and I could have anybody, well, can't get Steph Curry, but if I wanted to get somebody younger, it would be De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron. I'll take De'Aaron over Braun if I could make that happen. You gotta have a guy who can score and go back and forth and create. Braun couldn't do nothing for Miami. He couldn't do nothing for Cleveland. It's a pipe dream at this stage. Yeah, old dude. Steph, maybe. You put the pieces. I think if AD played with Steph, they running the West. Heck no. Heck no, 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 no. I can't get Steph. I don't want the Junior Walker Steph. Nope. He too streaky. I take Devontae Murray though. I take Murray. I don't want Trey Young. And him and Tyler will about cancel each other out. No. Spo would bench him. He too reckless. Turn the ball over too much and shoot too many jump shots. No, I take Murray. I take Devontae Murray out of Atlanta before I take Trey Young. But I told you, De'Aaron Fox is the one I wish I could get. That's who I wish we could get. If you can't get SVG, Murray's up with the Nuggets. Oh yeah, Jamal Murray, yeah. Now if you could get Murray to Miami, heck yeah. Because again, the way Bam and Butler play, and you get Murray, that would be a great pickup. That yeah, that one yeah. See, you need a guy who can create on the perimeter and get his points. That's why I don't want LeBron. I take Jamal Murray, De'Aaron Fox. You know, Steph was available even for a year or two. But Murray and De'Aaron, that's what you want. Don't want nobody. Heck no. Nope. He ain't no winner. Him and Durant and Bradley Beal is still trying to play the Stooges of who's Mo Curley and Larry. Woo, 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 woo. No, because he had a better setup with Chris Paul and he blew it. He blew that finals against Milwaukee. He choked the last four games. I don't want him. He can score and stat pad, but he ain't clutch. He's giving me broke Paul George vibes, broke Kobe vibes. Junior Whopper, don't see it. You gotta have him with a superstar alpha. No, no. If you got frustrated by LeBron and you couldn't play with Durant and you act like you kind of lost with Luca, why would you play with Jimmy Butler? He had the best of boys already. No, I like his handles. I like his game, but I wouldn't want him on my team because to me he hasn't really showed me much since he left LeBron. I just don't see it. Don't see it. I don't see it. Don't see it at all. You have to have obviously if you had an alpha, I give you that. Oh yeah, yeah, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Because AD can growl and all that acting he be doing like he's a broke WWF wrestler. Where the heck he be doing all that? But then you know what's gonna happen, right? His lips gonna be out on lip going, oh, got missed 2 months because his lip got distangled. But yeah, him and Luca could be scary. Yeah, yeah, that would be freaky. That might actually make his career count. Oh, it's true because he probably like he got and he go, oh wait a minute, my pinky, I'm done for 5 weeks. Like every time he be overacting, it's just a matter of time. Did he pull something? But yeah, him and Luca. Oh yeah, that's a good call. Yeah, because they gotta put somebody with him when LeBron's gone. That's what they looking to do. That's why they telling LeBron Plinker's like, we tired of trying to save your behind. You pushing 40, and you ain't Tom Brady, and we don't see enough high, just average. But like 2 years ago when you averaged 30 points and we didn't win but 30 over 30 games, it's just not working no more. So that's all. Yeah, I'd be cracking up. I know you be cracking up. AD be all growling all the time, like he cookie monster. Like, oh, what are you growling at? Well, that probably be with Charlotte or something. Maybe that's how he catches Michael Jordan. I mean, it's gonna be with some old scrub team because it sure ain't gonna be for nobody that's a legit team. LA ain't gonna play that mess. LA fans got expectations. They not gonna sit there and tank. That's what they pretty much have to do to get Bronny. They're not gonna tank. So that's probably where it'll be. It'll probably be some, you know, that's why he's pouting. The Lakers won't tank. And see, and before you ask me, yeah, they're good enough to be an average team, but because he never had to grow up, he was the boy who had too much. You gotta remember, he's had everything he's wanted. Coaches fired, players traded, you know, clutch sports dominant, you know, treats it like he's at a social club. So that's what they've allowed. I don't have to sit around and do videos about it every day, but that arrested development back, well, it's part because he was a man child, you know, so he lived up to the hype. But he is delusional if he thinks he's still gonna have it like that. He'll be 40 next year, this year, and the NBA has moved on. And his day's almost done. He's one real injury away, and he just can't ignite it no more. You know, like Shaq said when he was talking about Jordan, 29 ain't 39, and that's a fact. So, well, yeah. Even his hair dye job done faded. I mean, they want to romanticize him, but you know, all the free throws, shooting disparities and trades. Now he should have had about 8 rings. He should have been in Brady category with all the movement he had going, all them runs, and it didn't happen. So I'll be glad when he's gone. Even worse than that, so he's going out like he's George Jefferson because that line that don't been way back, but he, you know, they've been trying everything to protect him, and you know, because I mean I know he was the last of the high schoolers that went where he went, but you know, his day is done. His day is about done. So a great career, you know, and I give him that, but it's not going to end well. And they probably told him to hit the road. I mean, he can, you know, he's hoping there's some hype for him. I said if he gets ownership with the Knicks or ownership in Vegas, something like that, that'll be the great chapter. But as far as, you know, yeah, he can. But can he tolerate being with a subpar team? That's the problem. What are you going to give up? You can stat pad 25,000 to 30,000 points, and we can debate. I mean, to me, I got him as my best power point guard, but I got Magic as the greater player. But you know, but do you win? Is he gonna sneak another ring like he did 2 years ago? I don't think so. They have to pretty much revamp 80% of that team. I didn't say 50 or 60. I said 80%. So there gonna be a lot of job openings in Dub land. You know, so and that's the sad part. I mean, yeah, I like watching him play. He's the dude. He's the most fun cat I still see playing. But Shea's coming along for OKC. And go where? Where would he go? Because he'd be old. He can still play, but you know, again, it's a different league now, and I don't think teams are going to necessarily cater to him when he's pushing 37, 38, 39. Just don't. Unless, of course, it's a championship level team. That's the only way I could see it happening. I I mean, if Steph Curry goes to New York now, it ain't gonna make that much of a difference. It'd have to be somewhere where he really would. There's only one team that really would in the East where it would really. If you could, damn Dame, if they could do it and have trade Dame for Steph, put him with Giannis, they coming out the East because him and Giannis would be scary and box office. Yeah, but it was a different era and a time, and that dude was built like Hercules. That was a big brother. That was a different time. You can play when you real old, but are you playing because you still good or because you're a body part? And Kevin Willis was built, but it wasn't like we're looking at Kevin Willis to give you more than 5 points a game. He was strong, but he was for glassing and block, glassing, hitting the glass, boxing you, blocking some shots. He wasn't asked to be a scoring machine. Now that's what you wait to see. And LeBron probably could score points when he's in his 40s, or Steph could, but will they be impactful? No, because if you see the walls coming off now, it's gonna get ugly in a couple of years. I'm just telling you. That's why I think Rob Palenka's saying, "Nah, we're done. We're good." And where Steph goes, as much as I love him to watch him play and everything, ain't gonna be a hot market for him in 2, 3 years. He'll get numbers, but I don't want to see him be like Carmelo or some of these other guys that has the jersey rock. Victor Wembanyama, only if they had a point guard. I mean, they have to have some defense though. And by the time Victor gets good, Curry will probably be longer in the tooth. That's the only thing. It'll probably take Victor about 2 or 3 years. I know Curry gonna still be up for that. Just saying. So yeah, if Victor was 2 or 3 years in his career and played with Curry, see him in 2 or 3 years with Curry, yeah. But oh yeah, De'Aaron is a beast. He got Sabonis looking like a machine. He got Sabonis looking like his daddy. So oh yeah, I'm big on Fox. Fox is a scary brother. De'Aaron be getting off. And they don't give him no love. Doodoo Brown don't get no love as a coach. I'm like, people be hating on Sacramento. Monk is the key. But just saying, just saying. So they've only passed him because he's mentally hurt, not physically. He got to get himself together mentally. That's what he need to work on. I know he's dealing with physical, but he got to get himself together mentally. But Mad Dog Russo said that John Morant was better than Allen Iverson. I'm like, slow your roll. He's got a natural talent level. He got spring in him, but I'm not gonna say all that. They pass him because got a better skill set, but Fox gives you a lot of energy. Fox keeps coming though. I like the way Fox plays though. I can give you that, but I still like Fox. I like the way Fox goes though. Fox does move me. And I do think Jaw's a great talent, but Fox moves me. So two things can be right, you know. But I will tell you this though. Fox is being coached better. I don't think Jaw's getting the best coaching in Memphis. So I'm not gonna argue good, because I do like Jaw a lot. But I think Fox is, he get going, he a handful. So We'll see how Ja comes back. Play a full season. Keep himself clean. Get his mental on. We shall see. If they don't get at least to the second round this year, maybe the third, yeah, because that team should be on the come up. They should be. They should be. Let me know when you're ready. Okay, okay, I'll be here. Okay. So yeah, only if they. Yeah. So I'll give you that. I'll give you that. They should have. They should done it anyway. I mean, they. I mean, how many more years they gonna get? They gonna be. They're like the 49ers of NBA. Man, you keep knocking on the door. I mean, they got all that, and they just ain't done it. So I don't know. I'm gonna take a little eat break. I'll be back in one half hour to an hour. Give me a half hour to an hour. If you see me, come on back. I'm gonna take a break. Peace. Stay warm. Stay easy. Eat real quick. I'll be back. All right. Peace.